Hey guys, welcome to my new video series. It's called Tactical Autopsy, and in this series I'm going to be breaking down your favourite pro players, slicing and dicing them up, and working out exactly what it is that makes them tick. And hopefully by the end of it, you're going to be able to take some of the things away that you learn here and incorporate it into your own game. The first player I have on my chopping block is NiKo. The very first thing to note here is his utility usage. Straight away he's going to use a smoke, and I typically find in the majority of cases he'll use this smoke 95% of the time at the start of the round if he's got either a rifle or an SMG. However, if he has an AWP, he'll typically always hold his smoke and come here to either quad, MBK or default and hold the angle. This is because it's a really favourable angle for an AWPer and it's quite easy to hold, and as a result he gets to hang on to his smoke much later into the round. The second thing to note here is NiKo's forward and aggressive positioning. We have to ask ourselves why he's positioned this way, and to find the answer to that we have to look towards his weapons. His team are on a low mix buy and he himself is on a UMP. His opponents however have full AK-47s across the board. One of the biggest advantages that the AK will have over the UMP is the range. So if NiKo was to engage one of these AK players at a medium to long range, he'd most likely lose more times than not. But because he's positioned himself so aggressively towards this door, if a player opens that door, he'll be immediately in close proximity, nullifying the range advantage and making it almost an even fight. To understand this next part, we're going to jump to Exist's point of view, who's playing highway. He's hearing a lot of smokes and flashes and molotovs coming out in mid, typically indicating that the enemy side are about to take mid control. Typically, when an enemy team look to take control of part of the map, they normally send between 2 or 3 players at least to take that area so that they can overwhelm any defending CTs and trade frag if one of their teammates go down. This in turn opens up areas and space across the map that the terrorist side simply can no longer cover. Exist is now going to be relaying that information to NiKo that there's a lot of players towards mid. NiKo is then going to combine that with the fact that he hasn't heard anybody pressuring door or main and make a calculated push with a pot flash from Exist. Now with NiKo safely in door, he's going to start pushing it and clearing out the A side of the map. The information that NiKo's been able to gather here is going to prove a pivotal part to this round. He's going to keep pushing and clear out this A side completely, setting up a flank for himself as well as giving his team a lot of space to work with. He's going to catch Happy completely unaware. This is going to give his team a man advantage and put them in a 4v5. It's what NiKo does from this point on now that's most impressive. NiKo's managed to get control of the entire A side of the map by himself, give his team a man advantage, and create a massive amount of pressure, which in essence will force the T side towards the B bomb site, because at 45 seconds left it would be way too risky for them all to regroup and try and retake A, because NiKo could still be hiding in door, A main or on A site, and it would simply take too long to clear. So because of the pressure that NiKo's created, it's essentially forced them into a B hit here. As well, it's worth noting how disciplined NiKo was to fall back there. A lot of players, when they get a kill like that, become overzealous or frag hungry, and it's very easy to give away your frag, but NiKo very calmly uses his utility so he can fall back safely and fades back to the door. Now the expected B hits come in, a load of frags are being traded on either side, and NiKo's been left in a 2-on-1. So, from this position, what are NiKo's advantages and disadvantages? The most obvious disadvantage being he's in a 2-on-1. He's still got a UMP against 2 AKs. He's got no utility left, and the terrorist side still have a couple of flashes and molotovs. And from all points of view, it looks like the terrorist side are going to capture the B bomb site and put the bomb down. But NiKo has 2 key advantages here. The first one being time. With 24 seconds left on the clock, RPK needs to get to the bomb site, and there can't be any mistakes or delays. If he dies while crossing, the T side might lose the round simply from running out of time. There's also no time to rotate to the other bomb site, and this means that he knows exactly where one of the players will be as he tries to plant. The second key advantage that NiKo has here is a positional one. Now, it might not seem like it right now because he's in the middle of mid, but I'll expand on that more in a moment. But the key thing to note here is that he's going to walk across mid, because if he runs in mid, RPK will hear him from checkers and his position will be given away. This is the moment that the round starts to switch into his favour and that positional advantage comes into play. He hears Kiyoshima throwing the nades. This means he now knows where both players are. Because there's 16 seconds left on the clock, that means one player has to be running towards site to go for the bomb plant, and because he's just heard Kiyoshima underneath him, he has a pretty good idea of what's happening. Kiyoshima's throwing the nades to try and facilitate RPK to cross onto site, because as we discussed earlier, if RPK gets shot crossing here, the round effectively ends. NiKo's now going to use both of his key advantages and hit a timing window where RPK needs to get onto site and plant the bomb, and Kiyoshima's going to be left alone, covering all three of these entrances, and NiKo can isolate a 1v1 against him. So now he simply drops out of vent, catches Kiyoshima off guard here, and kills him. And now with only 10 seconds left on the clock, RPK is forced to plant the bomb, and NiKo's going to use this timing window where RPK is planting and can't see where he's moving, to get as close as possible to once again close the distance and make his UMP as effective as possible. And finally, to close this out, we're going to take a look at this last frag from RPK's perspective, because the devil really is in the details. Okay, we're going to slow this down. RPK is going to flash off the wall here and strafe out wide, and here it becomes painfully evident. He's already pre-aiming towards checkers, not anticipating that he's moved this close, and NiKo once again has caught someone else off guard with his positioning. And as always guys, thank you for watching and sticking with me to the end here. Let me know down below in the comments if you want to see more of this kind of content.